The breath of the Immortals. Breath is the door, not the goal. This is The Breath of the Immortals by Lang Z. Matthews. Breath is the first thing we do when we enter this world and the last thing we release when we leave it. It is the invisible thread linking body, mind, and awareness. Yet in Daoist meditation, breath is not the goal. It is the door. That distinction matters. Modern people are surrounded by breath techniques. Slow breathing, deep breathing, breath retention, performance breathing, emotional release breathing. Some of these methods have uses, but Daoist meditation begins elsewhere. It begins with a quieter and more radical insight. Breath does not need to be forced into stillness. When the mind becomes still, the breath follows naturally. This is one of the deepest principles in Daoist practice. When the mind is agitated, breath becomes shallow, fast, and uneven. When the mind is calm, breath softens on its own. When awareness deepens in meditation, breath becomes so subtle that it almost disappears from attention. Daoist sages saw this clearly. That is why they did not make breath control the center of meditation. They treated breath as a mirror of inner condition, not as a machine to be manipulated. Breath is a means, not an end. It is like the doorway to a temple. The doorway matters, but it is not the sacred chamber itself. If a person becomes fixated on the threshold, he may never enter. In the same way, if a meditator becomes obsessed with adjusting, counting, lengthening, deepening, and controlling the breath, he may remain stuck in technique and never enter true stillness. Daoist meditation takes a different path. It asks the practitioner to observe, not interfere. Sit down, be still. Notice the breath as it already is. Is it deep or shallow, fast or slow, smooth or rough? Do not rush to correct it. Let it reveal the truth of your present state. That is where real practice begins. At first, the breath may feel obvious and unstable. The mind wanders. The body carries tension. The breath reflects all of it. But with patient observation, something changes. The body begins to settle. The mind becomes less noisy. The breath softens. It grows quieter, finer, less forced. Eventually, it may seem to fade into the background altogether. This is what the Daoists meant when they spoke of breath becoming subtle or almost imperceptible. Not that one stops breathing in some dramatic way, but that breath becomes so refined that it no longer dominates awareness. Stillness changes breath more deeply than breath changes stillness. That line cuts through a great deal of confusion. Many people believe controlling the breath leads to deeper meditation. Daoist teaching says the deeper truth is the reverse. Still the mind and the breath will refine itself. Force creates tension. Obsession with method keeps the mind active. Artificial patterns can disturb the body's natural rhythm. But when awareness settles, breath finds its own order. This was not only theory. Daoist history offers real examples. Wang Chongyang, the founder of the Complete Perfection School, entered a life of austerity, fasting, and deep meditation after turning away from worldly life. In retreat, he simplified everything. He ate little, sat deeply, and allowed desires to fall away. As his mind became still and his cravings weakened, his breath became lighter and subtler. His transformation did not come from forcing technique. It came from stillness, simplicity, and surrender to the Tao. His life teaches a hard truth. The more disordered the life, the more disordered the breath. A restless mind produces restless breathing. A craving-driven life produces heavier respiration. Meditation does not float above the rest of life. It reveals it. This is also why Daoist breathwork differs from many other traditions. Some Buddhist schools use breath as an anchor for mindfulness. Hindu pranayama often regulates breath actively to direct energy. Christian hesychasm joins breath to prayer. Daoist meditation, in this mode, does something simpler and more severe. It allows breath to refine itself through non-forcing. The practice begins plainly. Sit comfortably, keep the body upright but relaxed. Close the eyes or soften them. Notice the breath without trying to improve it. Let it be what it is. If thoughts arise, return gently to observation. Not with force, not with irritation. Just return. Over time, this simple act begins to change the whole system. Tension decreases, breath grows more economical, the mind becomes less aggressive, awareness becomes steadier. Then one begins to understand something the old sages knew well. Breath is not the master, breath is the messenger. And when the message is heard, even the messenger grows quiet.